what district you're in, just a little bit about yourself.
I'm Kevin Lindsay. I'm from District 3. I live in District 3, right at the end of District 3. I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Prince George's County, Maryland, Temple Hills, Maryland. I went to Salisbury University from 98 to 2000. Played baseball there, captain my senior year. I ended up going over to Europe for a little bit and playing. And moved back down here 2001, and I haven't been back. Have a wife, beautiful wife, and two beautiful kids. That's 8-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. And they're one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I want to raise my kids here. I think that Salisbury has a lot to offer, but it has a lot to do also, and getting people to believe in the community and love the community. And I think you know, me getting out there, showing my face, somebody hopefully people will recognize. Hopefully people will come out and vote, and just vote. I don't care who they vote for, they just need to vote. I mean, so that's one of the reasons. And the recent death of Rakim Russell really shook me up. Rakim, before I even had kids, used to be in my house. Used to run around and eat up my food, drink up my sodas. And seeing him there at the viewing, really, you know, that's when I really thought, you know, I need to do something, or at least try to. And he's one of my inspirations. I do have his bracelet on here today, and I love him to death. I mean, his mom's a strong lady, and I wish her the best, but he's really one of the reasons why I'm doing it too.
We were talking before I started recording about the curfew meeting.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the curfew and how you feel about it?
Well, I think we need to, when we're going to implement something like this, or we're going to begin the discussion, I want it to be fair. I want it to be across the city or the county or however they're going to do it. I don't think it should be delegated to one district. I really think this is of a band-aid of the overall issues that are going on in Salisbury. There have been some things that have been going on that I think haven't been addressed with the youth. And now this is a band-aid to say, hey, we're trying to do something about it. I don't necessarily agree with it. We need to understand that they're single working parents that, you know, realistically cannot, you know, look after their kids. They're trying to do their best. What are we going to do about if they do find a kid? How are we going to address the issue with the parent coming to get them? Some parents can't leave work. And some parents, if they do leave work, they're going to get fired. And then we have a whole other issue. And how are we going to address how these youth are going to deal with the police?
We were, prior, you were talking about you losing your friend and going to, you know, the viewing and funeral for him. That brings us to the question of crime. What are your thoughts, since it does strike close to home for you now? What are your thoughts about crime in the city of Salisbury?
I think that it goes back to one of my favorite sayings is, you know, rich kids explore, poor kids border, meaning that, you know, their lifestyle and how they're growing up kind of affects, you know, what they do. Number one, when you don't have the proper guidance for whatever reason, you know, things get missed. You're able to freely roam and, like I say, border, you know, get goods, exchange for goods to survive. You know, these kids are surviving out here. And what's troubling to me personally is I've worked with the population from special education to I've ran some group homes at Maple Shade. I've done some work with juvenile services as a case manager and a residential advisor. So I've seen these kids come in, and I've seen them leave, and I've seen them come back. The Ennis kid, it was a kid that I had at the detention center who was, you know, probably done for life. It was a kid in the detention center. Something happened to him where he got out, and he wasn't helped. It's a bigger issue just in Salisbury. It's resources that Salisbury doesn't have that I think we need to help push for. I don't know what we need to do. If we need to go all the way up to Annapolis and whoever's representing us say we need these things. You go 45 miles, 50 miles west of Salisbury, and you got one of the richest cities in the country, smallest, richest city in Easton. Do we need to tap into them and find out, hey, what are they doing right that we're not doing? And we need to have some pride in our city. You know, people are pulling their businesses out and moving up to Delaware, and the taxes are high. I mean, it's just a lot of, it seems like it's, now I want to say, I don't want to say depression, that's a very strong word, but it's not a lot of pride in our city, especially with our youth. I mean, I think our youth, you know, need to, we need to figure out how to reach them.
So, what are your thoughts about the downtown revitalization? Do you think it's working? Are you supportive of it?
Well, when I interviewed for the opening last year for City Council, my impression with City Council is that they wanted somebody with that business background to help build up downtown Salisbury, which is great. You know, I think it's great that we're trying to do that, but I'm not sure if it's working. From what I've seen, I just don't know. I mean, I think it's good, but is that going to put back in the community? These things that these businesses that they're building up, or you put a bar up, you put the nightclub up, is that really going to go back to the city? Is that going to find jobs for individuals to prosper and be, you know, be serious about? Yeah, you come through Salisbury. Yeah, you want individuals to recognize your city, but I mean, I haven't seen it work, and I'm not. It's not a discredit to anybody on City Council or the mayor, but it's something's not working. And like I said, I've read up. People are unhappy with Salisbury. People are leaving Salisbury. People are not putting businesses. What businesses are we going to put in Salisbury? The retail, the fast food stuff, it's not working. That's not going to put back into the city. Just individuals get special treatments. What about the landlords and the rent and the overcharging of rent through that compared to the national average? Something's not working because unemployment's higher than the state of Maryland average, higher than the national average. Poverty is higher than the Maryland average, the national average. The black poverty is higher than the Maryland average, the national average. So when I look at, hey, let's revitalize Salisbury, I look at those numbers and what is revitalizing Salisbury going to do for the entire Salisbury? You know, it's downtown Salisbury. What about the entire city? How we're going to change that? And that is definitely a concern. I mean, I'm all about let's improve it, but we need to see some results so that people outside of the city that don't come in the city can see and want to come into the city.
Yeah, and that brings us to the next part of the question is, what would you do for economic development to encourage businesses to come back into the city?
One of the best things, one of the advantages I think I have with working for Goodwill Workforce Development, okay, and this may hurt some feelings, but this is the truth. You know, people want to work, but from people I deal with, from ex-offenders to the homeless to the everyday Joe that comes in, they want to work, but they're not job ready. There needs to be training for these individuals that, I mean, from the point of not knowing how to answer a legal or illegal question on an interview, what to wear, what not to wear, how to set up your cell phone answer machine so when an employer calls, what to answer. So I think number one, they got to be job ready. I think we need more trainings. We need more businesses, big businesses that want to come into Salisbury. But the first thing we do to get these businesses to come in, we got to clean up Salisbury. Nobody wants to come in. Taxes are, you know, people getting overtaxed. People don't want to come into Salisbury, and we need to figure that out, how we're going to change that. But I think number one, job readiness. I mean, I'm telling you, I see it every day. I mean, I work with the individuals that people don't want to work with. Yeah. They're getting released from prison. They want to work. They already got one strike against them, 1.5, 2, and they're not ready to go. So I think we need some trainings that are going to want business to hire some folks. And, you know, Salisbury has to clean up their act a little bit, and hopefully I can encourage individuals to want to be involved, because it's going to take the community to do it. Just with anything, it's going to take a village. But that's my number one concern, is job readiness and job training, and people ready to work and I'm not just talking about at a McDonald's, because that's not going to, personally, that's not going to you're not going to survive off that.
No.
So that's one of my main issues.
And you're running in District 3.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the challenges that you feel are special to your neighborhood as opposed to?
Well, number one is knowing what district they're in.
Yeah, good point.
Talking to a good friend of mine, his wife, she was really unsure of what district they were in.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a challenge. Making sure individuals vote, and I think that's a challenge for everybody.
Yeah, we only had 20% turnout.
Right,
last
and
election.
so I need to figure out how I'm going to get the individuals, especially on the Dykes Road, that area, my neighborhood where I live, to say, hey, come out and vote. Vote, period, number one. And if you are going to vote, hopefully you'll vote for me. I think that's a challenge, number one. Dealing with the Riverside Camden district, the individuals that I'm going against, you know, they're familiar with that area. The college students, we can get them out to vote.
Untapped potential there.
Yeah, untapped potential. With me being a Salisbury University alumni, still involved with the baseball program, not full-time, but, you know, I still do I work out with the associate head coach, getting his concerns, because he deals with the students, talk to the head baseball coach over there, and talking to the players there, and reaching out to the student government, finding out what are the concerns that you have. You know, and I think the real issue is the turnout. You got to get your face out there, and find out what are the concerns. Are they legitimate concerns? Is something I can actually do about it? Well, we got to get people out to vote. I don't care. I don't just to vote. So getting them registered to vote, helping them understand what they need to do. So that is probably the number one challenge.
Do you feel that it's going to be a challenge for you in this race because your two opponents are so entrenched in like Camden neighborhood, Riverside Drive, and you're from an area that's not really known to vote a lot?
Well, I can use that to my advantage if I can get them out to vote. You know, if I can get those individuals on my side to vote, tap into some individuals on that side, the Camden Riverside area, and I think I can. If I can get my face out to be known, I think it's going to be a challenge, regardless. Yeah. I think with my dad's background of being the first African American to be head of the Democrat Central Committee in Prince George's County, my stepdad was the political advisor for Congressman Wynn in District 4 in Maryland. So sitting back and observing them, seeing how maybe they do things in a larger area. But I know they would both say, Kevin, you got to get your voice out. You got to get your face out. Name recognition, things of that nature. So I think it is a challenge, but you know, I've done harder things. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, nobody can say I didn't try. So
are you planning on going door to door?
That is my plan, and that's going to probably start this weekend.
While the weather's nice.
Yeah, while the weather's nice. While the weather's nice, get up and down Dykes, hit the neighborhoods, pass out some flyers, talk to the neighbors, find out what are their concerns, if they have any concerns. Do they plan to vote? If they're not going to plan to vote, how I can encourage them to vote. So that is I think that's key. I think the door-to-door is probably the most important thing, and to get my voice out. So I do plan on doing that.
In conclusion, anybody going to the polls in November, why should they vote for you over your opponents?
Well, I'm the right person for the right reason at the right time. What you look at the numbers of Salisbury, what has changed, what has worked, something's not working. I'm from probably the younger population of the 40 and under. I have a lot of energy. I'm raising 2 kids, and I think that's really important. People don't understand that, you know, I moved back down to Salisbury because I enjoy Salisbury. I enjoy Prince George's County, Maryland too. I love that area. But for me to move back here says something about how I care about the city. I still care about Salisbury University. You know, without them, I would not be the person I am today. Without the influence that I have in my life, especially from Salisbury and the people that I have ran into, you know, I wouldn't be the man I am today. So I'm definitely a different breed, a different cat, if you want to say. But I know that I care about this city. I care about my community. I care about the entire community. I especially care about the African American community because I think they still have a lot to offer. I think they need to see a face in office that says, hey, you know, if this guy cares, I'll care. And so that's why I think it definitely should be me.
And then I leave it up to you. If you have anything else you want to add to your, if there's a question I didn't ask, if you got anything you want to say, it's up to you, man.
No, I don't have anything. I just, you know, I'm excited. I enjoy what I do. I work with people every day. I see the community every day. I think that is an advantage. I see it from all different angles. So you have to take everything you take in, from the ex-offenders to the homeless to the regular population, and combine it and see what works for everybody. I don't think anybody can, you know, really, people can say that. And plus, with my past with working with the juveniles, the youth, so I've seen it all, from the young to the old. So I just think I'm the man for it.